Organized crime, a shadowy world of power, loyalty and violence. But what lies beneath the surface of these criminal empires? From the streets of New York to the back alleys of Sicily, organized crime has both captivated and terrified generations. Today, we delve into the dark underbelly of the mob and explore some strange facts about this mysterious world, using one of the most iconic depictions of it in film, The Godfather. The Godfather, a film which immortalized the Mafia and its complex family dynamics, has become a cultural touchstone. But is it just a film? Or does it reflect something deeper about the nature of organized crime? In the real world, organized crime families, known as mobs, have been around for centuries. They run intricate networks that touch every facet of society, from politics to the economy and even the entertainment industry. But here's where it gets strange. Did you know that some of the most infamous mob bosses, like Vito Corleone in The Godfather, were not born into crime? They started as immigrants fighting to survive in a hostile world. Vito Corleone's rise from a poor Sicilian orphan to the boss of one of the most powerful crime families in America wasn't just fiction. It reflects the true story of many mob leaders who climbed from humble beginnings, some even having no criminal connections until they became entangled in the very systems they sought to overcome. Another curious fact, the Mafia's code of silence, known as omerta, is so ingrained that it's believed to be stronger than blood ties. In The Godfather, Michael Corleone's eventual ascent to the throne is marked by his strict adherence to this code. In reality, breaking omerta could result in being silenced, often permanently. Yet in some bizarre twists of fate, former mobsters have turned state's evidence in exchange for lighter sentences, defying the very code that kept the Mafia alive. And here's a truly odd one. Despite being one of the most violent and secretive criminal organizations, the Mafia is also known for its surprisingly sophisticated businesses. Did you know that the Mafia essentially invented the protection racket, where they would offer security to shop owners in exchange for a cut of their profits? What's stranger still is that today, many legitimate companies unknowingly operate under similar models, where the cost of protection against fraud and theft is just another part of doing business. In The Godfather, we're introduced to the chilling power of Don Vito Corleone, a figure who embodies the mix of charm and terror that organized crime families often wield. But don't be fooled by his refined manners and eloquent speech. Beneath that surface lies a ruthless strategist, one who governs his empire like a king ruling his fiefdom. The line between family loyalty and violent retribution is razor thin. Here's a peculiar fact. Many mobsters are also known for being fiercely protective of their families. Ironically, some of the most feared criminals were devoted fathers, husbands, and even grandfathers. Don Vito Corleone, for instance, would never tolerate harm to his family, yet his empire was built on violence. It's a stark contradiction. In fact, the Mafia's complex relationship with family is a key theme in both real-life mob operations and in The Godfather. In real life, mob bosses like Al Capone, Lucky Luciano, and John Gotti carried a similar duality. They were ruthless businessmen with a cold, strategic mindset. But when it came to their families, they were often deeply protective, bordering on obsessive. They may have built their fortunes on crime, but their sense of loyalty to their families was the foundation of their power. And finally, did you know that mobsters often had a secret, almost mystical belief in fate? Many mobsters believed they were destined for greatness, a belief that often led to their downfall. This sense of invincibility reflected in The Godfather through Michael's ultimate fall into the violent world he tried to escape is a strange, almost tragic irony. It's as though fate had already marked them for this dark path, much like the scripted lives of mobsters in the film. So, what is it about the Mafia that continues to captivate our imaginations? Perhaps it's the perfect blend of danger, loyalty, and tragedy. Or maybe it's the strange and twisted facts that surround these criminal empires, blending myth with reality. As we've seen in The Godfather, the story of organized crime is far more than just a tale of crime. It's a story about family, power, and the dark forces that shape both. And so we leave you with this thought: in the world of the mob, nothing is ever as it seems. And perhaps that's the most strange fact of all.